Meeting to order of the Wilson County Commissioners Court. Welcome. Today's date is Monday, August 24th, 2026. It is 9:00 a.m. As we normally do, we'll have our prayer by Elder Brown and then followed by our Pledge of Allegiances. Elder Brown?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you again for the privilege we have of coming and serving you another day. Be with the proceedings here today, and we ask that your continued guidance and direction will be with each one. Give us this knowledge and the wisdom that we need to continue on with our service in this community. We pray in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we're going to move to agenda item number 3. We have public comments, but before we go into that, I need to find out, I need to read through these and find out which agenda items are, because I suppose that you're going to want to talk public comments to that agenda item. Is that correct? Or nobody wants to talk? Okay, very good. All right. Six. We have a number of them for 6 and 10. I'm going to mark those down so that I'll be ready to ask for those. And 16. All right. Okay. We have a number of speakers. We have a limited amount of time, 30 minutes. So, folks, I'd ask you to please try to get your comments to us. We cannot respond to you in public comments. We cannot, okay? All right, we're going to start off with Dr. Richard, and I don't know how your last name is not legible. Nims, come on up, sir.
Good morning, Court. My name is Dr. Richard Nims. I am here to talk about data centers that are going around the state. Although I did hear Governor Abbott on Sunday on a national news program saying that he has suspended it. However, there is also a position that there are 300 new ones that are going to be grandfathered in. My comment today is not about water and it's not about electricity. It's about sound. There's been a number of studies on what these data centers are going to produce in terms of sound. One of them has pointed out that it's going to be like having a small jet airplane in your backyard constantly. We need to be thinking about that or what we want to do with the neighbors. Even though they're out in the country, there is an ambient sound similar, you might know it from elephants. Now that might seem a little strange for Wilson County, although I think there's an elephant reserve near here. Elephants produce a sound that's very low key, but it travels for miles and it penetrates walls. Now, if you can imagine in your bedroom at night, trying to get to sleep, and you hear a rumbling sound constantly, That's what we're going to be experiencing if we have a data center in Wilson County. It cannot be blocked. It goes through walls. That's why elephants can identify themselves miles and miles away. It's because of this rumble sound that they produce. This same sound is produced by data centers. When this issue comes back to us, I hope that you will take this into consideration because it's going to affect everyone within miles of that data center. It's not going to be on a boundary like you have a fence or like they do on interstate highways or through would they put sound barrier walls in the communities that sort of deflect the sound. This ambient sound is not deflected. So I hope that you would take this into consideration when this issue comes before you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Billy Martin.
Well, I'm back. Got a hypothetical today. I was just curious, hypothetically speaking, if we had somebody sitting on the commissioner's table up here that might accidentally, on purpose, be working for somebody else that might be sitting in this room. Sheriff Fauci.
Judge,
Yes.
what item number are we talking about right
It's not, but here's the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the problem. Our form says it has not been corrected, and it says comment on an issue not on today's agenda. Until this is corrected, we're going to do this.
now? Okay.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
Let's not use disparaging words.
Just this is a question. It's not trying to be disparaging. I think everybody ought to play by the rules and not try to be special and say, well, the rules for everybody else doesn't count for me. Was just kind of curious because it seemed to me, with a little bit of the background that I've had, that it might be a conflict of interest. If somebody that's sitting on this table right here happened to be a reserve deputy investigator. Now, I'm not sure that that's so. That's why I said hypothetically. But if it is, it'd be real interesting because maybe, just maybe, I heard somebody going to help get a budget through for some people that wanted budgets and stuff. And that's just not right, folks. That's just not right. You can't be for the community when you have allegiance to somebody else. Thank you very much. I guess that ought to do it for me today.
Okay, the other comments will be reserved for those agenda items when they come up. Huh? Our certificates of completion awards and bond continuations. Training and cybersecurity awareness training for Don Barnett, Angelica Cuellar, Jennifer Ozenfluke, Jennifer Holman, Monica Lascano, Lindsay McCullough, Rosie Soto, Wendy Traquil, Sandra Villarreal, and Texas Association of County Cyber Awareness Training for Commissioner John Scott Aiken, bond continuations for Rachel Gonzalez, Administrative Assistant to the County Judge, and Liliana Lopez, Deputy County Clerk. Those entered into the minutes. Agenda item number 5, we have Kristen Labus, County Auditor, 9:00 a.m., discuss, and it says discuss, take action, but we go to 5B, budget hearing, LGC 11.007. Before we begin, do we have any public comments on this agenda item? This is a hearing. None? Okay, Ms. Labus?
Okay, the proposed Wilson County fiscal year 2026-2027 budget was filed with the county clerk's office on August 14th, 2026. and it was also made available on the Wilson County website for public review. The budget covers the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2026, and ending September 30th, 2027. As stated in the proposed budget, this budget will raise more revenue from property taxes than last year's budget in the amount of $1,150,027, which is a 4.7308% increase from last year's budget. The property tax revenue to be raised from new property and added to the tax roll this year is $524,068.04. Judge, at this time, you may open the public hearing and invite anybody who wishes to speak to provide comments regarding the proposed budget.
All right, is there anybody from the public who would like to come up and speak on this agenda item? Okay, hearing none, we move to agenda item B. Discuss and take action to propose a tax rate by a record vote.
The proposed tax rate is .424932 per $100 of value, taxable value. The no new revenue tax rate is .402607. And the voter approval tax rate is .424932 per $100 of taxable value. Because the proposed tax rate exceeds the no new revenue tax rate, the county is proposing to increase property tax revenues. The proposed tax rate does not exceed the voter approval tax rate. The notice reflects that the proposed tax rate would result in a tax levy of approximately $25,459,428 compared with last year's tax levy of $24,309,401, which is an increase of approximately $1,150,028. Judge, at this time, the court may discuss a proposed tax rate and entertain a motion to propose a tax rate of .424932 per $100 of taxable value, with the vote to be taken at a record vote. And this is for a proposed tax rate.
All right, the floor is open to motion.
Well, considering that with our preliminary budget, we have a lot more asked than what we need, I'm gonna recommend that we go to the voter approval rate.
What would that number be, Commissioner, so we can have it for the record?
Well, I hadn't made a motion.
Oh, okay.
That's my discussion.
All right, do we have a motion on that?
Well, if nobody else wants to discuss it, I'll make a motion to set the proposed tax rate at .424932 per $100 valuation.
We have a second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Is there any other discussion regarding agenda item number 5B? Hearing none, call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. 5C, discuss and take action to set tax rate hearing date.
The proposed tax rate hearing date is September 14th, 2026 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioner's courtroom is here present, Wilson County Courthouse, 1423rd Street, Floresville, Texas.
Did you say at 9?
Yes, sir.
Give me the date again, person?
11/14.
September 14th.
Not
I mean,
9.
9/14.
That'd be a
They even
little past
wrote
it.
11. I don't know. So,
9/14/26, okay. I have a motion.
second.
No? Who's,
Oh, I thought you said I have a motion.
Do you-
Anyways, make a motion that we have the tax hearing set at 9 a.m. on September 14th, 2026.
Second.
motion made by Commissioner Aiken, second by Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion regarding this action item of 5C? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. All right, we move to agenda item number 6. Now, I'm going to I've saved the public comments, so I'm going to be calling your name right now before we go to that, and that will be the Floresville Peanut Festival Association. And I'm going to read through the whole thing because this is the whole agenda item. Discuss and take action on the Floresville Peanut Festival Association request for the following. County courthouse lawn and electricity setup and breakdown and festival noon Thursday, October 8, 2026 to 4 o'clock p.m. Sunday, October 11, 2026. Judges Conference Room for Executive Board Headquarters Vendor Payout noon Friday, October 9, 2026 to 4 o'clock p.m. Sunday, October the 11th, 2026. Portable light banks for lighting and safety noon Friday, October 9, 2026 to 8 o'clock a.m. Sunday, October 11, 2026. Veterans Center on C Street for band hospitality, 5 o'clock p.m. Thursday, October 8, 2026 to noon, Sunday, October 11, 2026. Courthouse lawn for Goober Games, noon Tuesday, October 6, 2026 to 9 o'clock p.m., October 6, 2026. Courthouse parking for Carnival, 5 o'clock p.m., Friday, October 2nd, 2026, 7 a.m., Tuesday, October 13th, 2026. Tax office, treasurer's office parking for Carnival, 3 o'clock p.m., Wednesday, October 7th, 2026 to 7 o'clock a.m., Monday, October 12th, 2026 to correspond with approved closure times for 4th Street. Parking lot at the food pantry on 4th Street and A Street for staging our 2 court floats for parade at 6 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m., Saturday, October 10th, 2026. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, folks, help me out here. Did somebody sign up for agenda item number 6? You did? 1?
Ready?
Ray. Okay, Mr. Reda, come on up.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Our department for the Veteran Service Department was started being housed at this location that's being requested to be utilized. From my understanding, historically, it has always been used. Now, this past year, a lot of things have changed within that building itself that we're not housed in. So we have now, county has more invested electronics, furniture. So I just want to bring it to the court's attention that we also had a former employee that was here with the county. I'm not sure what their involvement is still with the Peanut Festival. But between her and I, we communicated and had an understanding. And I just want to bring to the court's attention, if we can have a MOU established, I'm not sure if there's one already, but maybe a new one now that incorporates our department, our equipment, the county's equipment that's there inside that building, just so we make sure if there's any liability in the future, that we know who to go to directly and speak to about covering any future incidents or anything like that. So that's all I'm asking.
Okay, well, I think that if they use any of our property, they're liable for it if they break it, correct?
Yes, I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Yes, that's correct, but it wouldn't hurt to have an MOU.
Yeah,
If we don't have one, that's probably not a bad idea.
well, let's work on that. We'll
And
get
I
one
will
going.
work on that.
Okay. All right, right, thank you. Is there anybody from the Peanut Festival here today? Can you all come up for just a minute? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lindsay Engel. I'm the president of the Peanut Festival Association. This year, I also have Albert Sines with me, who's the immediate past president, and Betty Frazier, who is in charge of our sponsorships.
I just want to make sure that we coordinate with our tax assessor collector's office. There's an important roadway that goes through there on the back to pay their bills, and sometimes the carnival gets a little ahead of their time and blocks things off.
Absolutely.
Can we make sure there's coordination with Ms. Barnett on that? So that, because it comes up every year. Every year, they come in a little early, and which is fine, but they need to coordinate with her office so that she has smooth services for our citizens. Okay?
Judge, it's more than that. Last year, it shut down basically all of her operations by Thursday. And that's one of the items I wanted to talk about. That's got to stop. I'd I'd like to have an MOU, and we're going to stick to that MOU, and if that MOU gets violated, it's going to get shut down. It's ridiculous. It's gotten out of control and out of hand. People can't get in here to conduct their business. You're interrupting the operations of the county, and we can't have that. That along with Mr. Ray's comments about using that building. I don't know what space there is left to use, because you've got, your office is all set up in the front, right?
It's very limited, so that's why an MOU I think is definitely needed at this time. I have not been contacted by the Peanut Festival to, you know, to reestablish the event or anything like that. This is the first time I'm hearing it. It's been put on the agenda.
Yeah, because the Goober Games and the use of the courthouse lawn is overlapping. And using courthouse parking for the carnival from 5 o'clock Friday doesn't coincide with, let's see, where was it? Where was the other one? Yeah, the tax office parking lot is 3 o'clock Wednesday, so something seems to be wrong here, because that can't happen. You can't have the tax office parking lot until, what time do you close, Dawn, 6? Okay, so you can't use that area until after 5 p.m. on Thursday.
Not on Wednesday, correct?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. Because I know last year, we came in on a conference on that Thursday, and it was a mess. Nobody could get in and out of her office. And so we've got to figure out how to do that better. I don't know, Judge, it's up to you if you want to allow them to use your office. I mean, obviously, if they do, then they're going to have to pay for whatever security come in and for the courthouse while they're using that space.
Yes, we always have our security. We contract with the county and the city to do our security. We do have a meeting with the emergency operations on the 26th, this Wednesday.
You use my conference room, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
We just-
Okay. Okay.
Well, you can if you've got space to operate and they're not in your parking lot and they're not blocking anything past where they're supposed to. Is that correct?
Historically, traditionally, we have our first night at the carnival on Thursday. So that's why
I know, and that's why we're bringing it up, that it started to squeeze in and circle that office. It didn't used to be that way. And so it's causing a problem.
Okay.
The hours, and that's why there's a difference in the hours, because we're trying to set it to give more access.
Right. But see, what happened was last year, not only was all that around her office, but the street was also blocked off. So we've got to have better coordination with the city to not close that street so that people can get in and out of there.
you're referring to 4th Street.
Yes.
The reason for that is to create a bigger footprint to give the festival some.
Understood, but we've got to operate, sir. We've got people that drive up and they want to know, why is the tax office closed? They don't expect it to be closed. And they can't get there. And some of them are elderly, so they have trouble navigating that, so.
Understood.
We sure that happens? Okay, very good. All right, thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 8.
I'll make a motion to table approval until the county attorney's office can prepare a MOU.
Okay, there's a motion to table by Commissioner Martin, second by Commissioner King. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Okay, the motion is tabled till we get an MOU in place. Thank you. Agenda item number 7, we have Michelle King, Children's Alliance of South Texas, Children's Advocacy Center, discuss and take action to use 1105 Railroad Street for CAST annual trunk or treat event and approve use of halogen lights provided by individual precinct commissioners. Date, Saturday, October 24th, 2026. Setup begins at 4:30 PM, event opens to the public at 6 PM, and the event closes at 8 PM with cleanup to follow. Is there anybody here from CAST? Oh, okay, all right, sorry, I didn't look up, I was reading.
Yes, you said come prepared. Yes, I'm here to just do that, ask you for our yearly help with it. We need it's the large parking lot on Railroad, so the one by the library and the Justice Center. It is the most perfect parking lot for a trunk or treat because it's very contained. It creates a safe space for kids to engage with the community. We track about 1,000 people coming every year now, and we obviously need it kind of lit up. It's about 2 weeks after Peanut Festival.
Okay. I believe precinct 1 and 2 have used their
Yeah,
lights?
we
Yeah.
usually provide their lights.
Okay, all right, very good.
I do as well.
Okay,
Yeah, that's right, Commissioner Perdola. Mine wasn't working last year, so he brought his over, yeah.
And I brought one last year.
okay, they all
The
done.
question is how many you need?
Definitely 2.
Mine will be there, where it always goes.
Yeah, we'll take care of those two. That's no issue.
Okay.
Because my boss is going to be like, no, 3. Okay, 2.
I'd open all right, I'll ask for a vote. Or who makes the motion?
I'll make I'll make a motion to allow CAC, Children's Alliance South Texas, CAST rather, to use 1105, the parking lot across the street from 1105 Railroad Street for the annual trunk or treat event, and for use of halogen lights for that evening.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. We have any other discussion on regarding agenda item number 7? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes.
County.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 8. A, discuss and take action to approve cooperative sharing agreement, Alamo Area Radio Interoperability Network between the Alamo Area Council of Governments and Wilson County. Do we have anybody from ESD here that wants to talk on that? Well, Chief Lopez was here. He
Did see Chief Lopez.
Well, and
took off.
Lopez was here.
He was. And do you want to talk on that? I think that was supposed to be Bobby Blankenship sent that in. It's on the, take action on the, approve a cooperative sharing agreement between Alamo Area Radio Interoperability Network between the Alamo Area Council of Governments and Wilson County. It's for what, sir? Okay.
Table that.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I
should have
think
been.
there's no action. He said we don't need to do anything with it.
Well, it says to discuss and take action. He was supposed to be here. You want to come back to that and give him time?
Yeah, we'll just,
Do we need to do something eventually or not?
Yeah. Well, I think we should take action on it then. That's a safety issue.
Yeah, but we don't know if this costs us any money or anything, or if there's an agreement we're signing, we haven't seen it.
the county attorney's office seen anything with this?
Not to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything. And it wasn't brought up to me by Ms. Huron, so I don't believe we've seen it.
All right, I'm going to recommend we table both 8A and B until we get somebody from ESD 1 over here to explain that, and it's been reviewed by the county attorney.
Motion to table.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner King. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? The motion is, the agenda item A and B is tabled. We move to agenda item number 9, discuss and take action on to appropriate action concerning the presentation of Wilson County local match commitment requirement of Camino Real Community Service for fiscal year 2027. We have anybody from community? Oh, yes, good morning. Come on up.
Good morning. We do have some packets that we'd like to distribute, if you want to go over there.
Here, just hand them all over, we'll pass them down.
Let's make sure we identify ourselves for the record. We're being recorded. Thank you.
My name is Veronica Sanchez. I am the Executive Director of Camino Real Community Services. I am here to request continuation of our local match agreement that we have with Wilson County. We represent the local mental health authority, local intellectual and developmental disability authority for Wilson County. We are comprised of 9 counties total, Wilson being one of those. Camino Real Community Services is one of 39 centers across the state of Texas. In your packet, we have multiple items that I hope you get an opportunity to review. Before I go over the local match agreement, I did want to let you know what we have done through July 31st, 2026. Our fiscal year operates on a state fiscal year, starting with September 1 of each year. We have served over 2,400 individuals through our mental health services department, 577 of those being youth, children, and adolescents, and over 1,800 adults. We have facilitated through our mobile crisis outreach services, numerous hospitalizations, inpatient psychiatric hospitalizations. The state of Texas, through Health and Human Services Commission, does provide us funding for placement of individuals in inpatient psychiatric hospitals. So it's an important role that we play because our access to San Antonio State Hospital has really diminished over the years. They are mostly taking forensic patients, meaning persons that are generally sitting in a county jail. And so most of that has been taken over through our state mental health facilities, which for that reason the state has given us money to be able to help people get into hospitals. Those are generally very serious, complex situations which require 24/7 oversight. And that was a total of $230,914 in terms of what we have spent in placement of individuals in the hospital. With that, I also want to mention that we do provide a work center on 3rd Street, and that's to assist individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And we have done that for many, 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 many years. I've been with the center over 29 years, and we have had a very good operation which helps people that have intellectual disabilities have a place to go during the daytime, Monday through Friday. And it does assist the families with making sure that these individuals have an opportunity to learn skills to produce work. They actually are bottling or labeling salsa products. They also do shredding and other activities that really help people try to be productive citizens of your county. The current arrangement that we have with Wilson County is the provision of our adult mental health office, which is located on B Street. It's 1005 B Street. And then we also have an office for our intellectual and developmental disabilities administrative staff who those individuals are located on 3rd Street here. If you're unfamiliar, there is the 24th edition of Texas Mental Health Laws. There are Texas laws relating to mental health. That is in your packet. There is also a county responsibility with regards to the provision or making available services to the Wilson County residents. Again, that is the role that we play as a local mental health authority and local intellectual and developmental disability authority. The request today is highlighted on the local match agreement, and it is document, I think it might, I'm not sure if it's in all the packets, but for sure it is going to be made available. The value that we have placed on the buildings that are in use is $163,742, and that is an annual value. It's based on fair market And so that is the request that we're asking today. It's just continuation of allowing us to remain in the buildings that we are located in so that we can continue to do our outpatient services, our 24/7 crisis outpatient outreach services. I think maybe we need to give this to the judge.
Mr. Rowell, I have one question you can help me out with. They've had an interlocal agreement with us. We do this every year. Their interlocal agreement was signed in 2001. Judge Queenie's on this. Do we need to revisit that and have a current one? We should we not?
Yeah, it probably if it continues in perpetuity, then you don't have to.
We got it.
Okay, yeah.
But you have the right to, you just have to let them know 60 days before August 31st if you want to redo it. My guess is, we can take a look at it, and if y'all have changes that you would like to make, we can certainly revise it, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, nothing's changed, so,
Yeah, it was
okay.
our original charter. We were actually operated by the state of Texas up until September 1, 2000. They transitioned all centers, community centers, to standalone centers. And this was our original charter that was required in order for us to break away from the state to continue. We used to be an 11-county region. We actually had Gonzales and Guadalupe counties. And Guadalupe and Gonzales counties went over to Bluebonnet Trails MHIDD Center. The remaining counties, the 9 counties that we have, which are Atascosa, Frio, Carnes, Dimmitt, Zavala, LaSalle, McMullen, and I'm sure I'm going to miss one.
Maverick.
So, it's just something that we were required to do in order to establish ourselves, and those were the original judges that signed off on the interlocal agreement back in 2001, I believe, are the signature dates. And that was required through Health and Safety Code in order to become a.
I think we're good.
We're good. Okay. All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on this agenda item.
I'll make a motion to continue to provide the local match, providing a building to Camino Real Community Services.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion regarding agenda item number 9? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you, and thank you for what you do for the community. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We move to agenda item number 10. We have Gary Martin, Commissioner Precinct 1, 10A, discuss and approve the review of the amended tax abatement application submitted by Moonstone Solar Scout Energy for completeness under the Wilson County policies and guidelines and determination of whether to proceed with diligence and the proposed project, including consideration of a reinvestment zone at a future meeting. We have a number of people that will be speaking. I have Ms. Kay Love up.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kay Love. I'm a rural resident of Wilson County. I'm here to comment on the agenda you have before you. I request that you vote no on this item regarding Moonstone. I further request that you follow other counties in Texas, such as Caldwell County, and suspend indefinitely granting any requests for tax breaks for solar farms, transmission lines, or data centers, at least until after the next legislative session. I further request that you, may I speak on 16 too?
No, not till we get to 16.
Okay, so.
And I'll call you back up. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Mr. John Dole?
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello, my name is John Doyle, and I'm a member of the Wilson County Resource Preservation Project. According to emails captured by a Texas Public Information Act Opens Records request submitted to Wilson County on August 4th, the Floresville Technology Campus, a $10 to $15 billion hyperscale data center and natural gas power plant complex, is coming to the Floresville area. The first email was sent May 5th, 2026, and titled Floresville Technology Campus, Wilson County, Sustainable Development Planning. In this email, Jeremy Cook, the CEO of 3DI, wrote, quote, I am leading the development of the proposed Floresville Technology Campus, LLC, which will be a sustained design large-scale infrastructure project proposed to be developed at 2517 County Road 302, Floresville, Texas, 78114. An earlier email was sent on September 23, 2025, entitled Request for a Roundtable with 3DI. In this email, Jeremy Cook, the CEO of 3DI, wrote, quote, we are targeting sites 250 to 700 acres, capable of supporting 250 megawatt to 1 gigawatt data center campuses that can meet our development criteria. Elsewhere in this email, Cook writes, we are in commercial discussions with 2 independent power producers for this project. Proposed 145 megawatt solar project in the queue with a targeted COD of Q3 2028 in Wilson County. International NGCC developer with a queue position for turbines with 200 megawatt bridge to power solution COD 2027. Now, we don't have any fancy subscriptions to interconnection dashboards or insider knowledge, and the solar development was not explicitly named, so we cannot say with absolute certainty which solar farm Cook was referring to. However, the large generator section of the ERCOT GIS reports published between June and December of 2025 yielded only one 145 megawatt solar farm in Wilson County, and that's Moonstone Solar. Maybe we just aren't privy to insider information, maybe plans have changed since. But the fact that the power output of Moonstone Solar at the time was 145.81 megawatts, and their development will interconnect to the same 135 kilovolt line that passes close by the FTC site at 6.5 miles away, is a tall stack of coincidences. Given your appropriate frustrations at the Clear Fork developer, who only announced their power purchase agreement with Meta after the tax abatement negotiations had concluded, we figured we would give you a heads up. We've printed copies of these emails for you to review if you're interested. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Miss Amanda Clifton?
I live off of County Road 302. Down from what I'm hearing is a proposed data center. I only heard about this a couple days ago. We called the neighbors on 302 and nobody knew anything about this, but we're all extremely worried. What is happening in Wilson County is alarming. We moved here for peace and quiet, to raise our child and raise livestock. We would have never moved here, ever, if we knew that this was the future of Wilson County. I pray that as a county, we do not follow the same mistakes as some of these other places in the other nation and in this nation has made. I feel like we need to be wise and look to the other counties that have let these entities in, and it's drastically affected the communities around them. Communities say that their water has turned brown, low water pressure, flooding because the data centers have changed the layout of the land, farmers who report that their livestock are no longer being able to have any future cattle. That doesn't even touch on the noise, air, light, pollution. If you are not aware of these issues, I beg you to look into it. We live in a drought-prone area in the United States. Most of these data centers are under-reporting the actual amount of water that they use. Are we able to risk this precious commodity? Have we not learned from other places such as Corpus Christi, and now that they're in such dire straits because of their water issues? Texans should be looking out for other Texans. This is putting profit over the health and well-being of the citizens of this county. Are you willing to bet your health, my health, or children's health on these data centers being any different from what we've seen across the nation? We need to start being aggressive and stop the destruction of our land and water before it's too late. And just like somebody had made mention of the noise, I have a brief clip of what some of these data claims. This is what the data centers produce.
Put it up there. Put it up to your microphone. There you go.
24/7. Do we want this in our community?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Pam Shaw? I'm sorry? Yeah, okay. All right. Crystal Smith?
Good morning, Commissioners. Crystal Smith. I live on County Road 329, which is one county road over from the proposed data center. 77 acres, 3 generations, and 1 decision made in this room could completely, permanently change what my family believed that we were building for the future. My husband and I own 50 acres just 1 county road away from where this proposed data center is. My parents recently purchased the adjoining 27 acres to move here from New Mexico, so I can help care for them as they age and they can live with their grandkids. We chose this land because it's rural. We are investing in it, raising our children on it. The potential of having livestock on it, we're still building that. We're building a legacy that I hope to leave to my children one day. And now I have to wonder, what happens to that legacy when you put a 700-acre industrial development 1 county road away from it? In my backyard, I will be able to see it and hear it with my neighbors on County Road 302. What happens to our property values, our groundwater, private wells, our livestock and wildlife, our dark skies, our quiet nights? What are the long-term effects? Those questions deserve answers before decisions are made, not after families like mine are forced to live with the consequences that you make or you choose. As a certified public accountant and a business owner in this community, I understand revenue, I understand investment, and I understand economic development. Not everything of value belongs on a financial statement. At what point does projected revenue become more important than the quality of life of the people you represent? Because our land is an investment too. Families are putting their life savings, labor, and futures in these properties. We're building homes, improving land, and creating something we hope our children will inherit. Government should not prioritize the revenue generated by one development while neighboring landowners are left carrying the cost to their property, resources, and way of life. And make no mistake, this isn't just about one data center. It's about what comes next. I believe allowing industrial development on this scale is a death sentence to our rural way of life and everything that comes with it. The livestock, the wildlife, the land, the water, the quiet, the freedom, and space to raise our children the way we choose. Those things aren't standing in the way of progress. Those things are this community. As a Christian, I have deep concerns about where our dependence on massive technology, infrastructure, centralized digital systems, surveillance, and economic control ultimately leads. I recognize others may not share that belief, but I will not remain silent on mine. What are we trying to build, and what are we willing to destroy in order to build it? If the goal is to transform our rural community into an industrial corridor, then tell the people who live here. Tell us, communicate with us. But if the goal is to represent and protect the families who already call this place home, then protect it while there is still something to protect. I strongly oppose the approval of this data center, and thank you for your time.
Ms. Candace Stevens?
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. My name is Candace Stevens. I'm here today as a resident, a property owner, a business owner, and a member of this community who cares deeply about the future of Wilson County. 16 years ago, my husband and I chose to move to Floresville because he was beginning his professional career as a veterinarian. We weren't just looking for a place to build a career, though. We were looking for a place to build our family. We chose Floresville because of its rural character, close-knit community, and the beautiful land and open spaces that make this area special. We have been incredibly blessed to purchase a piece of land where we operate a small cow-calf operation, and that property has also given our children the opportunity to grow up with horses and to competitively compete in rodeo events. This is not just property to us, it's a way of life. That's why why the proposed data center concerns me so deeply. I do understand the potential economic benefits that are being presented, but I also believe that when a project is potentially transformative to an entire area, the question cannot simply be, how much money will it bring? We have to ask what cost the people who already live here will have to endure. What will it cost our agricultural land and water, like many others have said? What will the noise levels be, both during construction and after completion? And what will it mean for the rural character of this community? A project of this magnitude deserves careful scrutiny, not just of the tax revenue, but of its long-term impacts on agriculture and the quality of life of the people who live immediately around it. My family did not move here expecting that a massive technology campus would eventually be built right next door. We made long-term decisions based on the rural character of this community. We've invested heavily in the land, livestock, and a way of life that depends on having the open, usable rural property around us. I am not opposed to economic development, but I am opposed to development being considered without fully understanding what we may be giving up in exchange for it. I'm also opposed to being sold out to $1 million corporation by our county officials. So today, I'm asking this court to slow down, ask difficult questions, verify vague statements that were given in emails. I'm asking you to require complete and independent information and carefully consider the people who already call this place home and who voted you into your positions before even moving forward with tax abatements or any other incentives for these companies. Please remember that behind every parcel of land are families like mine, businesses like mine, homes like mine, and years of investments. My family chose Floresville 16 years ago because we believed this was a place where we could build a life, and we've spent 16 years doing that. I'm asking you to protect the qualities that made families like mine choose Wilson County in the first place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Mike Steele?
Judge, I'd ask if these folks are going to speak on data centers is not.
Well, okay, so I just said that earlier, Commissioner. We have not changed this form, and this form does not say that. It says comment on an issue not on today's agenda. Until we change this form,
Well, if we're going to do that, then we should have done these folks earlier.
go ahead, sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Judge.
You bet.
Commissioners.
I'm sorry, what was your name, sir?
My name is Mike Steele. I'm
Mr. Steele.
resident of Wilson County. Been here about 5 years. We moved here to get closer to our daughter. I have something that's related to data centers, but also the electricity. There is a computing system called fractal computing, and this is for your consideration. It's called Fractal Computing. They have a website. It's called Omega for America. They claim, and from what I've researched, it's probably a pretty good claim, that they can reduce the computing requirements of electricity and water, et cetera, all of that stuff, by 90%, pretty much. So if that's true, the data centers and the added electrical, the wind farms, all of that sort of stuff is going to be obsolete. So anyway, I'm here to ask you to please go to their website and consider what they have to offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jason Lowry.
Good morning. My name is Jason Lowry. I come back in front of you this morning to say that I am not opposed to the idea of growth in our community. However, any project should be able to stand on its own merit and not require a tax abatement to be viable. It should not harm our wildlife. I'm concerned about a solar farm that can catch fire, similar to the rooftop solar fire in Los Angeles back in June that burned for over a week even with fire department's quick response, they could not put the fire out. We have high winds out here. I know. I felt them while I was building my garage myself. If a fire like that got going out here in June, July, August, September, really any month, but especially the drier ones, we would have a real problem on our hands. I have have you ever battled a brush fire? I have. A few years ago, my neighbor's pasture caught fire. It took multiple fire crews and almost every family on the street to keep it contained from destroying homes. The idea that a solar project will only train firefighters and not have a designated fire station on site that they are paying for, or at least their taxes help the county offset with the cost, is going to put people at risk. If you give them a tax abatement or any other hyperscale data center project one, you better not raise our taxes to cover the cost. These big corporations that are eyeing our land for exploitation don't need the money. These projects have not been transparent with the communities, and they are not open to scrutiny. Frankly, I don't trust them. Seeing what has been happening around the country, I don't know why anyone would take them at their word. If it was only a solar project and no hyperscale data centers were happening across the state, would they even be trying to build it to benefit us? I doubt it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Jason Lowry.
Oh boy, I'm having trouble with reading this. Gabriel, last name, please? Come on up, sir. Thank you for helping me with that. I could not read that writing.
Spell it for me, sir.
H-Y-N as in nautical, I-E. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Gabriel Heine. I'm a Wilson County property owner and taxpayer, and I'm here regarding Agenda 10 concerning the amended Moonstone Solar Scout Energy tax abatement application. I respectfully ask this court to deny the tax abatement, decline to create a reinvestment zone for this project, refuse the development agreement as currently presented, and request a one-year moratorium in order to honor the March 9th policy requirements made by this commission court. I want to emphasize that I'm not asking the court to decide whether solar energy is good or bad. I'm asking you to protect the county's interest before giving away county tax revenue via the policy adopted by this court on March 9th. Said policy was adopted after a public hearing in which citizens raised legitimate concerns about groundwater protection, independent studies, environmental impacts. It also says that the court is under no obligation to provide an abatement for any project. It further requires the county to consider, among other things, the project's environmental impacts, a feasibility study, economic spinoff, job creation, and public costs and benefits. Regarding today's agenda, I respectfully ask the court not to confuse the application's completeness with justification. Before Wilson County grants the tax incentive, I believe the county should be able to demonstrate via an independent feasibility study that public benefits justify the tax revenue being given up and that the county is protected from the project's long-term financial and social costs. Specifically, I ask, has the required study been performed? Does it actually address the real issues facing the county? What are the county's projected costs for roads, drainage, emergency services, and other infrastructure? What financial assurances exist for decommissioning and restoration? What happens if the project is sold, expanded, substantially changed, or abandoned? There are other questions to ask. Why is such a large solar farm needed in Wilson County? A farm which utilizes less than half of that. A solar field that's almost as large as the city of Floresville itself is 2,600 acres. That's 4 square miles. Floresville itself is only 5.7. And this solar farm uses only 1,100 to 1,200 acres for the actual solar arrays. What are they doing with the other 1,500 acres of land? And when do they plan to tell us? Regarding the proposed development agreement, what exactly is included in reimbursement of county expenses only? And does that agreement protect taxpayers from costs that may not initially be classified as county expenses? I'm asking you to exercise caution and honor the March 9th revisions, not to propose private development. A tax abatement is a financial decision made on behalf of every taxpayer in Wilson County. If the project is economically beneficial on its own merits, it can demonstrate the benefit in detail. I therefore respectfully request that you deny the Moonstone tax abatement and reinvestment zone, decline to approve the development of agreement until these issues are resolved, and consider a one-year moratorium on new tax abatements and reinvestment zones for large-scale energy projects, so that the county can carry out the required feasibility study and assess the environmental and social concerns impacted by this and other projects raised on March 9th.
Thank you. Shelby Westgar? Westgar, okay, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Shelby Westgore. This is Annie Westgore. We live on County Road 302, and I'm here to speak about the proposed site for the data center. I'm not here because I'm against growth or progress. I'm here because I believe there has to be a point where we ask what kind of community we actually want to build. My family and I moved out here because we wanted something simple, peace and quiet. We wanted to get away from the constant noise, traffic, and congestion of San Antonio. We wanted to raise our kids somewhere where they could grow up with open space, quiet mornings, and a sense of peace. We made a conscious decision to leave the city so that we could find that life. Now we're left wondering if it'll last long enough for our kids to enjoy it as they grow up. A data center isn't just another building. It brings significant industrial activity, construction, traffic, noise, lighting, infrastructure demands, and a permanent change to the character of the area. And once something like that is built, we don't get to undo it if we later realize it wasn't the right fit for our community. In addition to the day-to-day issues, we know that data centers house thousands of servers the size of a small refrigerator. To add to insult to injury, they need to be replaced every 18 months. How are those disposed of, and what kind of environmental impact does that have with that disposal? I'm asking our leaders to think beyond what this project could bring financially and consider what it could take away from the people who already live here. We chose this place because of what it is, and I hope we can protect that and make sure that our kids get to grow up with the same peace and quiet that brought us here in the first place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Marie Orth?
Good morning. My name is Marie Orth, and I am here representing Lissy Neckel. I'm here today to address Agenda Item 10. Lissy Neckel is against the tax abatement application for Moonstone Solar, Scout Energy, or any other company coming into Wilson County asking for a tax break. How many businesses have resided in Wilson County and have never asked for a tax abatement? We have invested our own money into our company's improvements, and we won't be leaving. This project will benefit and create jobs for people outside of Wilson County who will be responsible for disassembling this solar field after the investors leave and are no longer here to operate. It will be another eyesore in Texas like the one I passed the other day on 1604. It looks terrible. They're all facing the wrong direction. Every single one of you are the gatekeepers for Wilson County. And we ask you to make the best decision for the taxpayers of Wilson County. Once again, we oppose the abatement application.
Thank you, ma'am. And last, be Ms. Kibbe. Ms. Kibbe here?
She's here, she's just.
Yeah. Okay, am I loud enough now?
At the risk of sounding like a broken record that you've already had to listen to 1,400 times, I want to point out that we don't know what is actually defined here. We don't know actually what it means when it says the amended tax abatement. We don't know what that application includes. And as you know, I believe that the problem is in the details. Also, since the last time we looked at one, the governor has kind of changed the floor for a lot of these projects. And we don't know how that impacts this particular project. So I suggest that we not do this until that kind of settles itself out. And in addition to that, I actually have a problem with the developer who wants the contract to go through paying for the attorney that's going to write it on behalf of the county, because I believe that you need to follow the money. And you have to wonder where the loyalty of that attorney will actually lie. And that, I'm sure, is what part 2 of this thing is referring to. So please, I think this is time to hit a delay and get a little more input before we do this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, that's all the public comments for that agenda item, but now I'll invite somebody from the project Moonstone Solar Scout Energy if they want to come up and address the court.
Judge, point of order, I'd like to go to 31A for just a second.
You do what now?
You'd go to 31A for just one moment. That's our court comments.
I'm not understanding you.
He wants to move
Move
to
to
the next
31A.
agenda item so he can speak. Break the rules and move to agenda item.
We ain't going to break the rules, but we'll suspend the rules. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules, go to 31A.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, the rules have been suspended to go to.
Yeah, so I can't remember how many court sessions ago we had this discussion, and I know there's a whole bunch of new people here today. So I want to address the data center portion of it because it's important that you all understand that this court does not have the statutory authority to stop a data center, period. End of story. We do not. We have been advised by legal counsel not to initiate anything that would be called a moratorium against a data center. Help me, Commissioner Aiken, was it Rockwall County? Or some county up north?
It was Hood County.
Which one?
Hood.
Hood, yeah, Hood County in North Texas declared a moratorium and were promptly sued for, I don't know, $150 million. They had to pull that back out. I don't think you want us to expend lawyer fees for doing something silly like that. So be advised, if they don't come to us and want to work with us and be a member of the community, there is absolutely nothing that we can do to stop them. Okay? I just want to make that clear. Okay. Judge, we can move back to the agenda item.
Okay. All right, we're going to go back to agenda item number 10. We'll have our folks from the solar farm come up. You can address the board.
You know, I don't know, Ms. Fernandez, do you want to do your presentation first, or are you going to do it, or? Yeah, let's go through the presentation because I think you might be a little bit surprised. Ms. Kibbe just talked about she doesn't know what's in the amended application, so let's do that because that's in there. This is Ms. Blakely Fernandez from the Fernandez Law Firm.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let's see.
So, my name is Blakely. Is that echoing a little bit? My name is Blakely Fernandez. I'm with Bracewell Law Firm in San Antonio, and I work with the county on your economic development projects and your economic development applications. In response to one of the questions from an audience member just now about the payment of fees, the way we structure this is very much like a bank. If you go to get a bank loan, part of your obligation is to pay the bank's lawyers because the bank doesn't want to incur fees for doing diligence on your loan. So we do the same thing. Every private party that comes to the county can't create this accumulation of legal fees for the county. That wouldn't be fair. So we charge the private party for the legal fees so that the county gets the benefit of the diligence without incurring costs. Also, to build on what Commissioner Martin said on data centers, the state of Texas has just been at war with local government, and counties in particular. You have no authority outside your very limited actual building permits to restrict anything that happens in the county. So when economic development projects come forward, there is some benefit in looking at that allow the county then to contractually put parameters around projects in a way that you could not do statutorily. So for the project before you today, to be clear, this is a solar abatement application. I was here about a month ago, and we talked through this. The application since then has been amended in response in part to some of the comments that were heard by the public that day. The most important being that the applicant has agreed that within the reinvestment zone that they are requesting, there would be no data centers. So that restriction would be built into that reinvestment zone. Here is the schedule that we're working off of right now. So we're just as far as that red line. This is today the court to consider the amended application for the completion of the I don't know what, that's my typo, amended application for the project, and then for the development agreement. If you decide to proceed ahead, then there's a calendar that follows, and I'll deliver the packet at the end of this meeting to the judge that has all of those dates in it. The notices for your overlapping jurisdictions, newspaper notices, et cetera, will all be in that packet. All right, so I'm going to go, well, you've got lots of new folks here, so I was going to go quickly through this because we did this at the last meeting, but I'll go through it with some detail because I think we've got a different crowd here today. The project before you is a 145 megawatt photovoltaic power generation facility. I'll tell you what's been changed. This is the same right now. So 145 megawatt solar power facility. The investment is $145 million. They anticipate commencing construction the first half of 2028. Construction would be completed in 2029. They're asking for an abatement term of 10 years. That's statutorily set at 10 years. The project life would be 30 years. Investment zone, the location is listed here, generally southwest of US 181. It's 3,628 acres for the zone. The project itself would be 1,400 acres. Solar projects don't produce a lot of jobs, so 3 full-time jobs plus some construction jobs. It's possible there will be some additional landscaping, agriculture, animal maintenance, those kinds of jobs as well. And the wages will be the minimum prevailing wage as specialized by the Department of Labor. That's in their application. These are all the things that they've suggested. In our previous agreements, we've required the wages to exceed the mean wage for the county. So that's something we would talk about if we proceed forward. In terms of, is the application itself complete? Does it meet your policy requirements? You'll see here that it does. It's in excess of $1 million. There's not a lot of new jobs created, but there are some. The abatement would be on your M&O taxes only. That means the INS side, your debt service side, would still receive 100% of the tax rate. With the existing property taxes, whatever amounts being paid today will continue to be paid. There wouldn't be any reduction for the county. And the project is eligible under state law. I've noted here that the taxes that would not be abated, in addition to your INS, are all of the other jurisdictions that overlap in this area. Okay, so this slide shows the first amendment to their application, which is within the reinvestment zone, there would be no data center projects permitted. That means, should they violate that, this agreement would be voided, and they'd be responsible for back paying all of the taxes and paying 100% of the taxes going forward. On the site and improvements, what you see in that paragraph there under the application column, this is very traditional as to what you would expect to see in a solar project, all the way from the underground collection systems, transmission lines, down to fencing, substations, fire suppression. The productive life of the improvements is anticipated to be 30 years. Somebody mentioned concern about decommissioning and would the project just be left, sort of to rot at the end of its life. State law has been changed in the last session, and so projects like this are required to have a decommissioning agreement with the landowners, required to have a bond for decommissioning. So that piece is managed under state law. Because it would be in your agreement as well, then you would also have a cause of action if for some reason they violated state law. In terms of economic spinoff, that's really about construction. For solar projects, they don't have a lot of upstream or downstream users. A requirement for local contractors to be involved in construction and local suppliers, local service contracts. That's not part of their application, but that could certainly be part of our agreement. Again, on jobs, a small number of permanent jobs, more significant number of construction jobs. And on the public cost and benefit, the things that we're really thinking about are roads. This project doesn't appear to link to any county roads. It appears that it'll use primarily state roads. Should that change, or should there be damage to county roads, the agreement would require reimbursement. If we know it's going to change in advance, we'll do a road use agreement. Public safety would fall to the county. Your ESD will manage fire and EMS, and they receive the full tax benefit. In terms of feasibility, when we talk about a feasibility study for a project, an economic development project, what we're really looking at is the feasibility that the project's going to be successful, that it's going to last for the term of the agreement, that it's going to last for the term of the useful life. Because one of the things you want at the end of the agreement is to be collecting your full taxes for the rest of that useful life. So for this project, Scout Clean Energy is a significant developer of solar projects. They are a subsidiary of Brookfield. They were acquired in 2022 by Brookfield. That's a global investment firm. They've got about $142 billion in assets under and you can see where their projects are around the country on that map. Their original abatement agreement, they had requested to have 55% of the county's M&O taxes abated. That has been changed in their revised proposal, so we could jump 2 slides here. The revised proposal proposes a 50% abatement, so they would pay about 5% more. I will say we were all working off of an M&O number that was previously posted on the county's website that was actually your full tax rate. That's all been cleaned up. You've got a whole new structure on your website that's much cleaner and easier to read, but in your truth in taxation, the M&O is broken out instead of listed as the full tax rate. So their initial proposal was on that 0.40596 tax rate. The M&O tax rate is 0.396182. So they had initially proposed payments that over 10 years would be $1.427 million. That goes up now to $1.548 million. In addition to that would be the INS payments plus your base year payments, whatever they're paying today. So it would be a little bit higher than that. The INS payment, the INS tax rate's very low. So that's only about $80,000 over the term. And then these projects, of course, they depreciate pursuant to state statute. So it's a rapid depreciation. At the end of the abatement, the project will be valued at $29 million. And so at your tax rate, that comes out to about $117,000 a year. That would be at the current tax rate. In 10 years, your tax rate might be different. Plus, you'd have, and then you would also have your, the base year continues on forever. And then in addition, your neighboring jurisdictions receive the benefit, the full benefit of their tax rates. So the last slide highlights some of the things that we put into a prior agreement based on the public comments. We had water restrictions. We note that this project has not acquired any water rights. We'll keep the restriction language in the agreement, but at this point, that doesn't seem like it's even a possibility. We put in some significant setbacks, environmental remediation provisions, and then no conveyance to a tax-exempt entity with some concern that you give an abatement, a project sells to somebody like CPS, and now it becomes tax-exempt, and so you never really get the benefit of that end of the abatement term. So we've got that provision built into your agreement. In terms of some of the other things that I heard this morning, so decommissioning we discussed, feasibility we discussed. Again, on roads, this project doesn't appear that it's going to have an impact on county roads. If there is an impact, reimbursement will be required under the agreement. If we decide we need a road use agreement, we can add that. And then the 50% abatement is typically in excess of the county public safety expenses for a facility like this. A single-use facility doesn't typically have a lot of public safety pieces. So it's not a lot of money to either the developer or to the county. I think the judge asked at the last meeting the but-for question. If we don't do this abatement, would this project come here? I'll let the developer answer that. They've indicated in the past that the abatement is an important part of their decision to go forward. I think it's more about acceptance in a community than it is about the financial benefit. But the limitation on their site to prohibit data centers is something that's worth considering. That is something that you can't do on your own. So no abatement agreement, no reinvestment zone. They own the 3,600 acres. You don't have any control over what goes on that site. Property owners outside of municipalities can do whatever they want. So that, I would say, is a significant potential benefit to the county, something worth considering. And I will answer any questions you have. No. You can. I've got.
They can request it from the clerk's office after
I've
court.
got 10 copies, and we can probably put it up on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come to the microphone or repeat the question.
So her question was, I think, does the restriction on data centers apply to any other properties they own outside of the area we're talking about for the reinvestment zone? It would not for this. It would just be what the application covers.
Well, I tell you what, this is not a public hearing, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
We can't
this
do
is
that.
an
We're going to have to
agenda
stay with
item.
court decorum. I'm sorry. Okay? All right.
Yes, I agree. I've been in
I do have a question, though. Is this, all this acreage is privately owned, or are there leases in this?
These are leases.
These are leases.
Okay, that's, all right.
The state law requires that decommissioning language to be part of their lease agreement. The leases would be without that.
Okay,
The land is,
The land is leased.
it's leased.
the lease, they do not own this property.
They don't own it. I don't know.
Okay, would you like to hear?
Yeah,
from-
that'd be fine. Let's move along.
Thank you, Ms. Fernandez.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Evan Mallett. I'm Director of Development for Scout Clean Energy and the lead developer for the Moonstone Solar Project here in Wilson County. That was a lot of, there's a lot of people here that don't like data centers. We're not a data center. We don't develop data centers. I've barely even ever tried using ChatGPT. We don't have an interconnection request for a data center. This is just a solar project. I heard a lot of concerns both in the previous meeting and this one about how the project will actually be developed, or that people just don't want it here, or they don't want it to be inappropriately developed or use resources. I think water resource came up a lot. We don't use water hardly at all, except for maybe an eye wash station for the people that work on the site, or other sanitation issues. But any other power plant, like let's say this was a natural gas power plant, which is the most efficient of fuel burning power plants as far as water usage, that would use roughly 60,000 gallons of water an hour for the same size project. We don't use water like that at all. To the question regarding 3DI, I believe was the company. They can present plans however they please, but we don't have a contractual relationship with a data center. We don't have a contractual relationship with 3DI as far as selling power to them or anything. So we know about as much of their plans as the community here and the commissioners. Basically just what's in the news. I heard one of the concerns regarding fire risk as well. That California building caught on fire because of faulty, what's called an MC4 connector. We don't use those connectors. But also, as far as the abatement is concerned, that doesn't change our taxing for the ESD. So emergency services, that tax entity still receives their full benefit. As far as why we have so much land, we have large landowners, and if we have an easement on that property, that counts as the whole of that property, right? And even if we're just putting a collection line or our GenTie line to the property that we own for the connection point of our project to the grid, we have to account for all that acreage. We can certainly reduce the acreage, but again, one of the huge things that I've heard through this entire hearing is that people want restrictions on our development, and that's what we're here for. We're here to work with the county, work with the commissioners, the public, on what their concerns are, and put those into a development agreement. And that's what we were trying to work on with the county and the county as attorneys and advisors, is a development agreement. There is a cost to that, of course. When we're restricted on how far we can set back from properties or roads or whatever, or what acreage we can actually use within our property, we still have to pay rent on that. And there's a cost. And so we're not here just asking for a handout. We're here to offer a restriction on our development, but in return, help us pay for all those restrictions that we have. What we want to do, of course, is make sure that the county is getting their tax revenue every year on time, as opposed to fighting with whoever our taxing council is or whatever every year on how much our project is valued. We can put this into our financial model knowing what our tax is, and so can the county. And so I just want to make sure that everyone in the room understands we are not a data center. We don't build data centers. We're here just to work with the county on how we develop the project in the best way that the county wants us to, as opposed to just doing it how we want to or how somebody else wants to. We're here to work together. Commissioners have any questions?
I'll ask you the question again.
Yes, sir.
You know what it is.
So
If we don't give you an abatement, are you still going to build it?
we're going to try everything that we can to continue building. However, having these agreements in place shows that to our off-takers who we bid these projects to, that there is actually an agreement in the county that we know what we're developing. The county has sort of a share in the say in the project.
I ask that not on my behalf, but our constituents want to know.
Yes, of course.
All right.
But
Any other?
we will try everything that we can to develop it. It is, Texas is a race to the bottom as far as power prices, which is good for the public, of course, where there's a lot of companies that are battling to get to that lowest price per megawatt hour to be able to get their projects selected. And we're another one of those projects. So every little bit helps us to be competitive in this, in the marketplace, because again, it's an open market.
And this will be connected to the Eagle Creek substation, correct?
This is actually being
I believe
connected
it's
to
called-
what's it's a line tap. So there's a piece of property where somewhere along that line, they'll CPS, because they own that transmission line, will be building out a line tap station or a small substation that just basically has a breaker for us to connect into safely, transmit onto the grid. Also, just a note, yes, we're connected to the 138. I'm not entirely aware of where 3DI's project is.
On the other side of Highway 181, much further south.
Yeah, my understanding is that they're
From what I
connected to the
understand.
45 kV line, I believe, or are trying to. Again, I know about as much as y'all do.
Yeah. So if you're risk averse, us negotiating this abatement agreement gets you the guarantees that you want, gets you no water usage, gets you the best deal you can get on setbacks, those kind of things to make it visibly appealing. There's a lot of things that we haven't discussed that would be discussed at the public hearing in a few weeks. And so you have to ask yourself, I guess if they're only truly, I think, what is it, 1,400 acres is what you're truly putting in solar panels and power lines, right? Something like that?
Yes, sir.
So if we take 1,400 acres, and worst case scenario was 4 lots an acre, that's 5,600 new homes in that area, times 4 people per home, that's over 10,000 population, times 200 gallons a day for water. So you're getting up in the millions of gallons of water a day just for people to live there. That's the difference in what we have to be able to control. If we don't negotiate agreement with them, they can work other deals, they can sell water, they can do whatever they want to do. I mean, and that, to me, that's the risk. I see one of my neighbors over there I'm directly impacted by this project, so is my son. And we've had some long discussions about it, But in order to maintain the peace and quiet and tranquility, yes, there would be a certain construction period, as there always was. Whatever gets built in this county. But in the long term, solar doesn't make much noise. You might get a little buzz at the transformers, but that's about it. And I think with the size of the acreage that they control, the 3,600 acres, you've got a very large buffer. Very large buffer in most places. There's some places where it might be a little tight, but so that's what you have to weigh. And I'll be honest, after the last commissioner's court, I got a call, or not a call, but I got an email from a gentleman that lives in Lavernia. He goes, if I understand what happened today, then that means they can go and do whatever they want to do. And I said, yes, sir, that's correct. If we don't go through this process, and this process is not over today. There is an opportunity to provide public input when it comes time to do that here in a couple of 3 weeks, when we actually have an abatement agreement to look at. So there's still another opportunity to look and see what things that you can come up with. And Ms. Kibbe will tell you that when we went through this with the Clear Fork deal, a lot of the things that she recommended and a couple other people, we put in those abatements. And so they're there. And since then, we've learned a little more. And so there's probably a couple of more things we would put in there. So while you're sitting here saying we're not watching out for you, I think we are. Because the alternative is no control at all, period. None whatsoever. That means if they want to go build out that full 3,600 acres and amend their leases or whatever, they can do it. They don't have to come to us. They don't have to ask us. They can just do that. They can put it right up against property lines without any kind of barricade or screening or whatever you want to call it. No option. It's too late then. We gave it all up. So that's what I want y'all to understand out of this deal. It's not an easy decision for any of us, but I think in the long term, and with the guarantees that we get that it all gets removed when the project is complete in 25, 30, however many years, I think it's a win-win for everybody because you save. I mean, I didn't even talk about if we have another 10,000 residents, what does that cost us in police protection? Right now, today, a police officer costs you about $100,000, and his car probably costs you close to $75,000 a year. That's just what it costs. It's expensive, just like everything else, you know. So that's the alternative, because you're not going to get the value out of this that you'll get out of this deal in homes, in their taxes. So, I don't know, do y'all have
Any other questions of?
Well, on the last one, our officers don't get paid that much money. It's just that all the benefits that are associated with keeping them employed cost that much.
That's their loaded salary.
Yeah.
I mean, who's bought a new truck lately? Come on, I know somebody has because I parked next to it out there. But y'all know what a new truck costs. I bought one 7 years ago and I paid less than $50,000 for it. That same truck today is about $70,000. You know, I mean, everything's going up. Yeah, might be. Might be now. I haven't priced one. I'm not going to get another one. But thanks for being here and making your presentation. No, ma'am, not at this point.
No.
This is not a public hearing.
You can go to the clerk's office and get their PowerPoint over there.
At the public hearing, next time, it'll be a public hearing.
Not yet.
We have a tentative date.
They haven't agreed to have any further.
It's tentatively September 14th if we meet all the other requirements and get everything set. So it won't be any earlier than that. Right, Ms. Fernandez?
The first public hearing would just be on the creation of the reinvestment zone. That's the first step. And then there would be a second meeting on the tax abatement. They're broken.
Right.
So you could create the reinvestment zone with no obligation to do the tax abatement agreement. It's just these incremental steps.
Right. That's what we're doing. We're taking it one baby step at a time.
Okay, thank you. All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item 10A.
There is none. We agree that it's complete, right, Ms. Fernandez? Procedurally, you want to address that?
Yes. So procedurally, the application is complete. It satisfies the requirements of your policies.
All right, I'll proceed with the motion if anybody has one.
I'll make a motion to consider a development agreement for reimbursement of county expenses only with Moonstone Solar / Scout Energy.
We have a second?
To be clear, how did you say that?
Because
I'm looking at the agenda item.
Yes. I said to develop an agreement for reimbursement of county expenses only with the Moonstone Solar and Scout Energy.
So on the initial item, I find the application to be complete, it meets procedurally your guidelines, but that is a determination that y'all have to make first. Under your guidelines, that's a decision made by the Commissioners Court. So if you find it to be complete, based on my recommendation, I think that's the first item you would take up, and then secondly, the development agreement.
Okay. All right, then, I'll go back again. I make a motion to declare the amended application submitted by Moonstone Solar / Scout Energy for completeness under the Wilson County Policies and Procedures Guidelines, and to proceed with diligence on the project, including consideration of a reinvestment zone at a future meeting. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin. Do I have a second? I'll call for a second again. Is there a second? There's no second. Motion dies for lack of a second. So I would think that we just bypass 10B because we would only have to go to that point, correct? All right. Agenda item number 11, we have Commissioner Martin, Precinct 1, discuss and take action to declare Volvo L70 loader as surplus and to authorize the sale of the loader on the GovDeals auction.
Yeah, so
That's not a TERP vehicle, right? You're buying a new one, correct?
no, I already got my new one.
Yeah, okay, all right,
Already is surplus.
all right.
So, yeah, so basically I received my new loader last week, so I'm ready to declare this one surplus and sell it. So I'll make a motion to declare the Volvo L70 loader as surplus and to authorize the sale of the loader on the GovDeals auction site.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Commissioner, did everything get signed? You sent me an email last week.
Yes, the county attorney said that all that miscellaneous warranty and maintenance stuff I could sign, so I did.
Okay, very good, all right. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion regarding agenda item number 11? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item number 12, discuss and take action on corrections to the 2027 approval county holidays. Independence Day holiday will be observed on Monday, July 5th. We had a little correction on that, Commissioner, so we had to bring it back to court to get it approved.
Judge, I gave this a lot of thought, and I didn't have a good answer when we approved these, but I still don't have a good answer. But I know there's probably a lot of people that will like to have a floating holiday. I know the ones over in Stockdale would probably like to be off on Stockdale Watermill Jubilee. We take, as a county, we take, Peanut Festival off. Lavernia events are during the week. So I don't know if we can make this one for this year a flex holiday. Ms. Moots, how much stirring up problem would that be if we gave them a floating holiday? From your, yeah, yeah, no problem.
I kind of look at it, Commissioner, the same way we do our volunteer community work for the food bank and stuff, and we let them go on duty. I don't have any problem with letting an employee go vote while they're working for the county. They're not going to be gone a long time.
Well, that's not the point of this. The point is if they want to take off for their birthday, or, that may be in the middle of the week or whatever. I don't know. I mean,
So what day would you want to pull?
well, I don't think it matters. We'll need to write a policy for it, I guess. But, I would just say, if you're going to take it in January, then you would use your January 1 or January 4th as your floating holiday, and just write on there, or I'd take January 8th or whatever it is as my floating holiday or whatever. So they could choose a
One
day.
administration day off a year at their choosing.
So as far as a payroll standpoint, that's going to be a little bit more work on our end, because then if one tries to use it for a second time, it happens. They could have forgotten
Right.
at the beginning of the year, end of
Right.
the year. We would have to keep track of that. If that's something y'all would be for and consideration for it, then that's something we would do. If you're asking my opinion, that would entail a little bit more work on our part to keep track of that. So,
Well, I guess think about it then, we'll just move this date for the time being.
Okay. So as it stands now, as it stands now corrected, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 12, and we can consider that next year when the new judge comes in. He's back there right now. Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the county holidays as presented and noting that Independence Day will be moved to be observed on Monday, July 5th.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner King. We have any other discussion regarding agenda item number 12? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, ayes have it, motion passes. Agenda item 13, we have Genevieve Martinez, County Clerk, discuss take action on setting sheriff's and constables' fees for 2027.
Okay, so they should be in your package. And there was a question last time by Commissioner Martin about the fee that said fees for sale of real estate by virtue of order. I did reach out to Judge Dillingham, and she hasn't had that happen. I checked the fees for every other county, and nobody had that fee listed. So then I called my rep at the SOS, and he said, take it off if it's okay. You're not using it. Nobody uses it. And again, after I did that, I reached out to Judge Dillingham, and she said, yeah, she did not have a problem with that.
So now it's off the list.
So the one you have right now, it's off of there.
Okay, so you have two on there. One's the old one and then the other one's that you submitted?
She might have left the old one on there.
I think she did, okay,
But
all right,
it's, the new one does not have that.
okay.
I think this is two different pages.
Yeah.
It's corrected on the second PDF.
The second one.
It's 2 pages. Mhm. And again, just to remind you, I did reach out to the sheriff and the constables, and nobody said they wanted to change anything.
We good, Sheriff? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 13.
Make a motion that we accept the sheriff's and constable's fees as presented by the county clerk for 2027.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Aiken, seconded by Commissioner Paradola. Any other discussion regarding agenda item 13? Hear none, I call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 14, we have Jason Causey, Director of Information and Technology, discuss and take action on the TaxCIRA website migration and hosting contract approval. Mr. Causey, your floor.
Okay, this is for approval for the migration to the new ADA compliant website with TaxCIRA. And that includes the ADA tools, ADA accessibility compliance tools, and the agenda manager tools. And the annual fee would be, hosting fee would be approximately $13,000 per year. And the migration would be $18,500.
We have that built in the budget for this year? I mean, that's part of what we're going to discuss this afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is significantly lower than the last quote I brought to court, I think by 10K.
Okay.
They were able to negotiate a lower price.
Do we need to approve this today, or, I mean, it's an action item.
Yeah, I would like to approve it today, just so I could get it done before first of the year.
Do you have
Make
this in
sure-
your budget right now?
Yes, sir. I just want to get it, as long as we get it done in 2026, it'll be a lot cheaper. If we go into 2027 to do this, the price goes up significantly.
Correct. And that's the reason we want to make sure it's within your budget currently until, the end of this budget cycle.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant factoring in for 2027 budget. It has not been factored in for this budget year.
For this budget that we're working on now, that would be 26, 27.
Yes, sir.
It's already
Yeah,
in
but-
there.
But, well, he says as long as he gets it done by the end of the year. Are you talking about this current fiscal year or the end of the calendar year?
The end of the calendar year. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Commissioner.
And that price from TAC is still good till next year, or next fiscal year?
As long as we do it inside of the 2026 calendar year.
I think that's what we were trying to, well, that's what I'm saying. It would be done in the calendar year. I don't know, what's the budget implication there, Ms. Lavas?
Yeah, because if it's within today's budget where we can get it and take it out of the next budget, it would definitely help us.
How soon will we know he has the funds so that we can decide on a budget amendment?
Technology items or if there's right now. Purchases that have been
Okay.
All right, Commissioners, any suggestions how you want to proceed? All right, I'm going to entertain a motion. Agenda item number 14.
Well, I mean, I guess there's no reason not to approve it. Do you think there's money for this budget year? I know that's a loaded question, but I mean, it might require a small budget amendment.
And then 18.5 on the back.
Yeah, so when would the payments have to be made, Jason?
I didn't get that information, sir.
But I guess, so do they pay their annual fees? Are they for the fiscal year or the calendar year? Do you know?
They're for the fiscal year.
For the fiscal year, okay. So then that means that if we approve the migration for the 13,000, we should be good there. And then we need to put 18,000 in next year's budget for that item. And that will be a reoccurring cost that will probably go up a little bit every year.
The recurring cost would be 13,000 approximately.
Oh, it's the other way around? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I think you said you're you're kind of good on that right now, as long as both fingers are crossed and all that.
Yeah.
But if we can use that out of today's budget.
Existing.
Well, I would say to try to do them, you know, because we want them to start working on the migration right now, so that it's done. And the other wouldn't be due until October or sometime thereafter, whenever they bill us for the annual fee, so. So the motion could be to pay for the website update at 18,000 right now, right? 18, and then
Are you
put the 13 in budget for next year.
making a motion, Commissioner?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying, does that fit everybody's?
I have a quote that I sent everyone.
Yeah, there's a quote on it.
There's a quote.
I think Mrs. Huron already looked over
How time sensitive
contract
is this?
as well.
It's not, they'll wait.
Okay. You want us to table it and you return next time after we get all the information and whether we can do the amendment? That would be good?
Yes, sir.
Motion to table, gentlemen.
Motion to table.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Aiken to table. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it. Motion is to table 14 is in effect. So we tabled it. That means we got to come back.
Yes.
Can't wait. All right? You understand we're going to have to put it back on the agenda again. Okay, very good.
We just need to
Right,
know
but-
what your budget is.
Yeah.
And so you can get,
We got 2 weeks to get that done.
and we can get all that.
No, we're having a budget meeting this afternoon. We got to decide what we're going to do.
When he brings it back to court is what I'm saying, so we can.
Yeah, it's for court.
Right.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Agenda item number 15, discuss and take action on the request for Commissioners Court review of tax assessor collector determination under Tax Code 33.001A1 regarding Kirchhoff Family Farm LLC. Need to have our tax assessor collector up here, Ms. Barnett. Let me ask, do we have the Kirchhoff family here? Okay, very good. Okay, sir, thank you. All right, you kind of educate us on this. What's the deal here?
Okay, so I provided each of y'all with a printout of the timeline of how we got to this point. Do you want me to go over everything?
Yes, please. I mean, it's an action item that we could possibly take, so I'd like the court. You have briefed me, but the commissioners have not been fully briefed.
I read the
on-
email.
What?
I read your email on it.
Okay. I don't know if we should let Mr. Kirchhoff talk and then we address it.
Would you want to go first, sir? Absolutely. Come on up.
Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to present this matter today. My name is Don Kirchhoff, and I'm here on behalf of Kirchhoff Family Farm LLC, and regarding our 2022 property tax account. I am appearing under the Texas Tax Code 33.011, paragraph A1, which requires the waiver of penalties and interest when a delinquency is caused by an act or omission of the county and the taxpayer did not receive the tax bill. In this case, Wilson County Appraisal District mailed our 2022 tax bill to an incorrect address. They used zip code 99999. That's an invalid zip code. The U.S. Post Office returned the bill as undeliverable. Because of this, because of this addressing error, we never received the tax bill. Once we learned of the delinquency, we paid the entire tax bill immediately. The only remaining issue is the penalties and the interest that accrued solely because the bill was mailed to an improper address. Your offices already have the complete evidentiary record, which includes my July 31st submission to the Commissioner's Court, my July 30th unified mega text package, my August 4th escalation letter, and all the supporting exhibits, the U.S. Postal Service documentation, and delivery confirmations. This record clearly shows the county's addressing error and returned mail. On August the 3rd, the tax assessor collector acknowledged both the returned mail and the addressing error, but nevertheless denied the waiver. That determination is inconsistent with the tax code 33.011, paragraph A1, which makes the waiver mandatory when county error causes the delinquency. I respectfully request that the Commissioner's Court approve the waiver of penalties and interest under the tax code 33.011, paragraph A1. The statute is clear, the evidence is complete, and the county error is undisputed. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I'll be willing to answer any questions the court may have.
Has it been, your address now, has it been corrected now with the tax assessor? Okay, that's out of the way.
That's correct.
Okay, very good.
Going forward, I think we're great. shape.
Okay. All right, sir, thank you. I'll let Ms. Barnett come up with Brad from Linebarger, but then I'll have some questions of you after this. I'm sure all of us will. Okay. All right, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay, so February 13th, 2022, there was a general warranty gift deed filed by the Kirchhoff family. The grantor was Wilma Kirchhoff. The grantee was Kirchhoff Family Farm. On this deed, list the address of 1444 County Road 120, Floresville, Texas. This document was filed in the official public record, was provided to the appraisal district, who updates the address, and it reflects on my side. We did not make an error. There was no error caused by the appraisal district or the tax office.
Okay, so how did he get the wrong zip code sent? What?
It's not the wrong zip code. The address on the deed that was provided by the family was wrong. This is not an error on the appraisal district or tax office side.
Okay.
This is a document that was filed in the official public records.
And that's in our clerk's office, that document?
Yes. Brad, do you want to? Sure. I have Brad with Linebarger.
So, good evening, or good morning, everyone. So essentially, what we're stating is that under the tax code 33011C, for the purposes of this section, a property owner is considered to have furnished a current mailing address to the taxing unit or if they have received a recorded instrument transferring ownership of real property and the current filed with the county. Excuse me. Now, since the taxpayer provided the address, Section F implies that they are not entitled to relief under subsection if the property owner or the owner's agent furnish an incorrect mailing address to the appraisal district or the county. So in effect, the county is entitled to rely on the address included in that conveyance. Excuse me, can I get some water?
Yeah, we can grab them. So here's the other question I'm asking. How did this happen all of a sudden? If he's been paying all these years, how did it just now happen?
So with that being said, he sent in a trailer renewal to my office for the farm. He does not reside in Wilson County, but being that he has a farm and has a ag exemption on the property, we do that as a courtesy to renew trailer registrations or renewals. When my clerk looked up the information to match his driver's license to the farm to make sure it coincided, I advised them they brought it to my attention that there were delinquent taxes on there. So I advised them to mail a statement of account with his renewal so that he was made aware of it. Otherwise, nothing would have been filed with the appraisal district. This is how he received notification, was by courtesy of my office.
Go ahead, Brad, you come on back up.
In essence, that's the problem here. The address that was used was furnished by the taxpayer in this conveyance. And therefore, there's a presumption that a current mailing address was filed, and the county is entitled to rely on that presumption, which is what they did.
During the course of the time, Linebarger was sending delinquent notices and letters going, hey, you're in arrears on your taxes and you need to pay. Was any of that mail coming back undeliverable or?
The evidence that he submitted was the Wilson County Appraisal District. I don't believe there was any Linebarger mailings there.
Okay, well, I guess I'm following. The knowledge that I have about it is that whenever y'all determine that someone has gone delinquent on taxes, then you reach out to them, and you're doing it at the very same address that the taxes were sent, going, we we want to take and advise you that you're in arrears, you need to pay, or this can go to next level. And so were those documents being received by somebody at that address and they go, ah, not me, and throwing it away? Or were y'all getting return mail going, it's undeliverable?
Commissioner, I don't have any evidence that we have mailed on this. If there was, it was not included in the packet. But we rely, again, on the certified tax roll.
Sure.
No authority to change it, nor does the tax assessor.
I also want to say that the 2022 tax statement was mailed to the address of 1444 County Road 120 and was not returned to my office. And that was the address that was provided on the deed. 2022 tax statement was not returned.
Mr. Kirchhoff, go ahead, come on up.
Thank you. What they're forgetting to tell you is that there's two pieces of critical information. We have a 200-acre property, which for many years, we were receiving tax bills and paying taxes. What they're failing to tell you is that the gift deed is a single 1 acre where somebody made a mistake on that and they picked that up and they changed the address on our 200-acre property as well as having the address incorrect on the 1 acre property. So for 4 years, and that's in the documentation, they, as you questioned, mailed something to an incorrect address and it was always returned to them. That information is from the post office. They've got 4 years of returned information going back to the tax office. So we never had any idea that a 2022 tax was not made until, and I do appreciate that finally in late November 2025, they sent this statement, which I have right here, a statement of account, and it's addressed to the wrong address, and it does have the zip code 9999. I doubt seriously that that was the zip code on the gift deed. This is a zip code that the tax office put in their record as our mailing address. So no, this would never have reached us.
So let me ask you this question, Mr. Kirchhoff. So you had been, prior to this discrepancy you're alleging, you had been paying taxes on that property previous years, no?
Many years, yes.
So wouldn't it have come to thought that, like, why am I not getting a notice on this property?
No, that's, we have always paid tax bills when we got the tax bill.
Right.
No problem.
Right. No, I'm not trying to say, wouldn't it have
Right.
given you some thought, like, why am I not getting something on this property to pay my taxes? So you'd paid it before, but then they weren't, those notices weren't coming in again. Well, did that ever?
We were getting other documents and mail, like was stated for the farm tax trailer. And that is where they put this statement of account that we finally got notification that we even had a tax liability sitting there with the county. So, and this tax code that I'm talking about is only dealing with the county error in sending a tax bill to us. But when they sent it to us, we paid the entire tax bill. The only outstanding issue is the interest and the penalties that are accrued over that period of time. And yes, the county, for the entire period, had our correct address. They were communicating with us that way. They just took the correct address off of their record for the 200-acre property, put the incorrect address in there, and mailed it to us for 4 years, and all of those came back to the county because in the evidence package you've got, the post office return record is in there.
Okay. Mr. Rowell, I'm going to punt toward you. This is a legal thing.
Let me ask a couple of questions because I'm a little bit confused. So the, you split off an acre off the 200 acres, is that correct?
No, my dad had died,
Mm-hmm.
my parents had died, and our stepmom was living out there. And when she died, the gift deed then gifted that 1 acre to the LLC. We never owned the LLC.
Okay, let me ask this a different way then. What taxes are we talking about that haven't been paid? And maybe Ms. Barnett can help me or somebody. Is it the 200 acres or the 1 acre? Which one has not been paid, or both? Both, okay.
No, all taxes have been paid.
Well, they have been paid now, but before, the 200, it involved both the 200 acres and the 1 acre, is that
Correct.
correct? Okay, so are you saying that the 200 acres was originally being mailed to you and then that got changed?
Yes.
Okay, and that's based on this gift deed that was filed back in 2022, is that right?
The answer is
February 2022.
Okay. And that only dealt with the 1 acre, but you're saying it changed the 200 acres as well as the 1 acre?
yes.
Okay.
And left it that way for 4 years while they were getting returned mail from the post office, and we were receiving none. And that's what the tax code addresses. The county's error in the address that for 4 years was not corrected.
Where is this address that's listed on the deed? Does anybody reside there? Is that just an address that doesn't exist?
Address, even on the deed, is that address does not exist. And subsequent to that, the county even changed the zip code to 99999. So there was all kind of things going wrong here. We couldn't get tax bills for 4 years. And when we did, we paid 100% of the tax within a few days.
The tax statements were mailed to the 78114. Once we receive a returned piece of mail, the appraisal district does change the zip code to 9999 so that it's marked as an
Undeliverable.
address.
Okay, one question. So when they split out that acre from the 200 acres, did the change, was the address of theirs then changed to this 1444 CR 120 on the 200 acres as well?
I would have to go back and look, but yes, I believe so, because the address was changed on both accounts to match.
To match the address that you had?
Correct.
Okay.
And that was, yes, that's done at the appraisal district, the addresses. But once again, the address was provided by the taxpayer by filing that deed.
And is the 200 acres, is that also being taxed to the Kirchhoff Family Farm LLC? Or is that being charged to someone else?
It shows Kirchhoff Family Farm LLC. the
To
same.
both 200 and the 1 acre?
Correct.
And the taxpayer is Kershaw Family Farm LLC. And no, Kershaw Family Farm LLC did not provide that.
Okay.
That was granted to Kershaw Family Farm LLC.
So this $5,130.25, this is a late fee of some sort, correct? This is not what they actually.
Correct. Those are
It's
penalties and
delinquent,
interest.
okay.
Yes. I provided y'all with the spreadsheet that shows the breakdown. And it's broken down by taxing entity as well.
Are we sure this is not going to happen again to these folks? Are they got the right address, everything's good?
He has updated his
Okay,
address with the
okay.
appraisal district.
Okay.
Let me look at the statute real quick.
And if I'm not mistaken, he would need to go to each taxing entity and have them request the same thing.
Yeah, the waiver, that's the other thing I was gonna ask. I assume the penalties and interests aren't all ours. I mean, they belong to other
Yeah.
entities.
Yeah.
I mean, the statute specifically addresses an error made by an officer, employee, or agent of the taxing unit, and somebody made a mistake, but I don't think it was the taxing unit. If I'm understanding correctly, that the Farm LLC is the same one that's paying taxes for both entities. So they treated that as a change of address, which I guess, would be a normal thing to do. You get a new deed, you got a new address, somebody screwed up on the address. So I don't believe it's a shall have to give the penalties and interest. But again, yes, that there would be other entities involved that would have to waive their penalties and interest. And they would have to, the Evergreen or whoever, I don't know where the property is located, but what other taxing entities are involved would have to be involved in this as well. So my opinion would be we either table this to bring those other entities involved, or it be denied because it was not, in my opinion, you're the finders of fact, not me, but that this was not a mistake by an officer, employee, or agent of this particular taxing unit or appraisal district.
Do you know offhand the other taxing entities? Who would they be?
They're on the sheet.
Which one? Okay, I got it. All right, I found it.
I can read them if you'd like.
address on County Road 120?
It would still make sense because it says Poth ISD, but 120 is,
Yeah, 120s.
No, that is not the correct address. That's the address that was shown on
So Poth should be on there,
Road
correct?
210.
Poth ISD should not be on there?
No, just change the county road address.
Yeah, no, Poth ISD is correct.
Okay.
The address is 1444 County Road 210 instead of 120, which was listed on the deed.
I would suggest, obviously with the approval of Commissioners Court, that this be tabled so that we can get with Lineberger, we can get with the other taxing entities and see what their position is, and see if we can't work out on something that's mildly satisfactory to anyone.
All right, we've been given some advice by our legal to table this. Do I have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table.
second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry. Was it you, Commissioner Perdola? Motion made by Commissioner King, seconded by Commissioner Perdola to table agenda item number 15. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion is tabled. We'll continue on researching that. Right. All right, agenda item number 16, we move to Jason Talley, Wilson County Economic Development Corporation. 16A, discuss and take action on approving the contract between Wilson County and Wilson County Economic Development Corporation. If item A is approved, we move to item B. We have some public comments first, Jason, so let me get those out of the way, and then we'll bring you up, okay? Ms. Love?
I would like to request that you vote no on items 16A, B, and C regarding the Wilson County Economic Development Corporation and give notice to the Wilson County EDC of intent to terminate. The formation of the Wilson County EDC has been questionable from the beginning and has lacked transparency. Obviously, there have been meetings that have taken place with commissioners and various entities that call observance of the Texas Open Meetings Act into question. The voters of Wilson County voted for you, our commissioners. We did not vote for an economic development group formed largely of realtors to represent us and to bring large industrial investment to our county. Realtors on the Wilson County EDC board have met with members of Moonstone Project, the Miss A Project, the Floresville Technology Campus, and unknown others. They have gone to the Attorney General's office to avoid answering Freedom of Information requests. So the effective date of the unsigned instruments, which I have here, was October 1st, 2025. Now, 11 months into its term, it remains unsigned, and the Wilson County EDC proposes an extension for 1 year with no confirmation that it has fulfilled any of the requirements contained in the agreement since its formation. By signing this agreement, you're using taxpayer money to fund an organization that rural people in this county overwhelmingly opposed. All counties adjoining Wilson County have responded with organizations to combat these unwelcome interlopers that bring little employment, or advantage and to urge you to support your constituents to prevent these companies from coming to Wilson County. The Texas Tribune polls now show that 60 to 70% of voters in Texas oppose the type of project that threatens our water, our health, and our environment, such as data centers, large transmission lines, and so forth. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Jody Doyle?
Again, transparency. It's really what we're asking for. Every year we hand many tens of thousands of dollars of sales tax to Type B EDCs for each of these cities, and then you turn around and give the people involved with the WCEDC public money to do the same thing without a vote, without a discussion, without a contract or deliverables and performance metrics of their productivity. Where are the good jobs? Where's the transparency? This has been going on for a really long time. In nearly all cases, it appears that the procedures through which government entities have funded this organization have been incomplete at best and absent at worst. Where are the agendas? Where are the minutes? Where are the notices? Records requests? It seems this whole chamber has been structured to avoid transparency. As if that isn't bad enough, the EDCs are taking public dollars and secretly recruiting industrial projects that the residents of Wilson County vehemently oppose. And we've collected thousands of petitions to back it up before this new data center and power plant was even discovered. We don't trust the WCEDC, and you've got to build trust to make this work. The SEDC never responded to our TPI request. Then they disbanded, and the WCEDC said they didn't have to. This WCEDC and its members have demonstrated that they are not ready for prime time. I say vote no on contracting with and funding the Wilson County Economic Development Corporation. It doesn't make sense.
All right, thank you. Steve Browning? Not? Terry Worth? Terry?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, you're on, you've signed up for public comments, correct, Mr. Worth?
Yeah, I was in the parking lot, but yes.
Your last name, sir? I'm sorry.
My name's Terry Worth. I'm here on behalf of Mission Rail Park. And I guess just for clarity purposes, Mission, in fact, can I give you these handouts for the commissioners?
Thank you.
That package that is being shared with you all is on Mission Rail Park. The property that, excuse me, my client owns on Old Corpus Christi Road, County Road 128. They've been involved, the ownership, and I must say, as a real estate broker in the state of Texas, I am bound to also say that I have a partial ownership in this project. From the beginning in 2012, when the project became a reality, a partner and I had formed an LLC and put the property, the 1,003-acre site, under contract. It was owned by the Miller family. We were looking for a tract of land that would be conducive for rail service for an industrial park. And since that time, the park has the initial development of it was for basically rail infrastructure that was done early on. And then years later, when everything has started to grow to the point where there was a lot of industry that was looking to locate a new plant in the state of Texas, we've gone and with CBRE is who I'm with. Our focus has been not data centers because data centers don't have hardly any employees. And the reality with what we do with the project that we're underway, of which we're underway, it's jobs and creation of jobs and what it can bring to the communities that we're involved in. I can understand the frustration with the community regarding data centers. One thing that a data center has is a lot of capital spent on it and everything else that goes along with it. But what is not normally a part of a data center operation is the job count. So that's something that we have not been targeted on. We've got an industrial rail park.
Okay.
Data centers don't use railroads. So all that said, I would like to, in the essence of time, I'd like to share with you a letter that was.
Yeah, I don't mean to shut you down, though, but we have to stick to the rules. I made them stick to 3 minutes, so I have to do the same thing for you, Terry.
Okay.
Unless you want to come back with the other people that are doing the development later on at your location, I think they're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you. All right, Mr. Talley, you're up.
Okay, we have a presentation we were going to go over, so there we go. So I'm Jason Talley, the president of the Wilson County Economic Development Corporation, and I wanted to go through a presentation for the public just so that we all kind of have an update of what this organization does and what it does not do, and why regional economic development, business recruitment, and the broader tax base matter. And here's our mission statement, is to achieve economic growth in Wilson County, Texas through job creation, business development, workforce readiness by promoting vocational and technical education as pathways to lasting prosperity. If you'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So why were we created? This occurred in the 90s. We actually had a similar organization like this in Wilson County. I don't know why it fizzled out at some point, but we see the need for this because of additional activity outside of city limits, and a lot of the activity is in the county, and so we needed somebody to have that representation. It's a countywide organization built to compete regionally and work locally. It's a private 501c6 membership-driven nonprofit. So private means that we don't have to abide by the Texas Open Records Act. We've got 4 city partners. We have 1 countywide economic voice and a regional partner that we work with quite often. That's Greater SATX out of San Antonio. Once again, our focus is on job creation, workforce readiness, responsible business investment. And it was built around collaboration with Floresville, Lavernia, Poth, and Stockdale. So what we see in our community, as we all know, we're from different parts of the community, and every town has its own personality. And we really wanted to work hard to collaborate more with all those entities and provide help where help is needed. Now, it's modeled on a regional economic development model that's similar to other counties. For example, Bexar County contracts with Greater SATX. Kendall County contracts with the Bernie County EDC. Medina County, Atascosa County, Guadalupe County, Comal counties, those are just a few in the region that do this very thing. They contract with a private 501c6. And that organization then would be the point person for economic development opportunities within the county. So this is nothing new that's being done with our organization. So let's go to the next slide. What WCEDC does and what we don't do. And I think the distinction matters when evaluating the organization. Our role is to provide information and respond to prospects, make introductions and connect resources, coordinate site visits and RFIs, connect employers, utilities, and workforce, help bring the right parties to the table. Now, what we don't do is tax rates, tax abatements, zoning, permitting, private land sales or purchases. Which companies inquire about Wilson County? We don't control that. Final decisions of cities, schools, county, and other taxing entities. Next slide. Economic development, we believe, is regional. This is the approach that most of the surrounding counties have taken. This is the approach that Bexar County and Greater SATX has taken. Instead of just focusing on Bexar County, they have created a region that's all the counties surrounding Bexar, and that has been the approach. And so we see a win in our region that creates jobs, construction activity, and economic value. It benefits Wilson County. So a win in our region, whether it's in the county or it's in another county, is a win for all of us. Greater SATX provides a regional channel for business inquiries and RFIs. A lot of that information is funneled from the governor's office to their group. We get leads from them, and it gives us a local organization ready to respond and coordinate to sites and follow through. So next slide. The work is already underway. We had Mr. Worth up here who represents Mission Rail Park. We've had multiple site visits out there. Now, the nice thing about that particular park is it already has the rail infrastructure there, so every prospect that comes out there or that we would be looking at needs to have a rail component. There's no point in building a rail park if it has no rail component. Another thing, too, if you recall, there was a grant issued in the Stockdale area for a medical facility. Well, those things just don't always just happen by themselves. Yes, the city government can move forward with trying to execute that, but Jennifer Baird, who is our executive director, has been working with them on making sure that that gets follow through, making sure it gets complete. Another retail project that just inquired with us literally last week. It's a project in Lavernia. The land's already bought. It's a retail type project. We made contact with them and had discussions about, what some of the next steps might be. The last box there is connector. We talked about collaboration, but we're a connector for a lot of these things. Sometimes people come into a community